Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. We are with the character Damiel over at the Glass Pavilion, and this is scenario 2.3 of the campaign, level 2, scenario 3. At this location, at the start of your turn, examine the top card of your location deck. Alright, so that's what Damiel is doing. Looking at his hand, it's good. It's looking good. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Abadar. And we have to examine this card. So we examine it, and now we can encounter it. Okay, it's a Desert Trapper, Combat 7. The difficulty to defeat is increased by the scenario's adventure deck number. So that will be 2. And it says here, each character may play no more than one card on the check to defeat. Well, let's see. I think we'll go ahead and we'll try out this, an Acid Flask. Range skill, D10 plus 2d6, so I think that'll be very beneficial. So D10, 2d6, we have to roll a 9, we get to add 2 to this roll, feeling pretty good. So roll a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay, the Desert Trapper is banished. Resetting Damiel's hand, advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Ra. Examining this card, we examine. No trigger effects, so we'll go ahead and we will explore. So Obstacle Acid Elite. Fortunately, it has the Acid trait, and Damiel has a power that states you may recharge a card. You may recharge a card to add 1d6 to your check that invokes the Acid or Poison trait, or reveal. Oh, sweet! So all we have to do is reveal a card, and we can add 1d6 on this check. That is pretty sweet. Okay. And if the card has the alchemical trait, we can add another 1d6. So we're going to go ahead and reveal the Potion of Healing, which has the alchemical trait. So we can already add 2d6 on this check. And it's an intelligence disable. So a disable is Damiel's D10 plus 3, so it's almost an auto defeat, and we defeated the alchemical gas. Alright, that's pretty exciting. So Damiel likes his hand. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of the Ancients. We have to examine this card, so we examine it, and now we see it's a Blessing of the Ancients. Damiel does not have the Divine trait, so it's a D4. So we rolled a d4, we rolled a 1, so we did not acquire that card. So it gets banished. Alright, advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Thoth. Examining this card. So we examine, and now we can explore, and it is a Twitch tonic. So Intelligence Craft 6. Alright, well, Damiel has Intelligence D10 plus 3. It's a liquid. So we rolled a 1. 1 and 3 is 4. That's too bad. So unfortunately, we have to banish this boon. We do not acquire it. Alright, Damiel's pretty happy with his hand. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Horus. We have to examine this card. So we examine it, and now we can explore. It's the Augury spell. So Intelligence, Arcane, Wisdom, Divine. Well, Damiel does have Intelligence of D10 plus 2. So rolling that, we rolled a 1. 1 plus 2. So another boon that gets banished. Damiel is not getting the rolls to acquire boons. So the hand is fine. Advancing the Blessings deck, we get the Curse of Daybane. Alright, so Damiel gets cursed. Fortunately, the top card of the Blessings deck is a Blessing of Horus, so we can do a free exploration. But it's interesting with this shenanigan because we have to examine. If it was a trigger effect, we'd encounter the card anyway. So Curse of Daybane is sometimes it can be of no consequence at the Glass Pavilion. But anyway, we are going to examine this card, and we can explore because the top card is a Blessing of Horus. So let's go ahead and roll a d4 here for our Divine check. And this time we rolled a 3, which is awesome. So this, we can discard this card to examine the top card of your location deck. Then you may explore your location. So I think we'll go ahead and we will Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use the Blessing of the Ancients because we don't know what kind of blessing we're going to get next encounter, and we don't want to lose turns. So we are going to discard that. We are going to examine this card. So we examine it, and now we can explore. No trigger effects. Just a straight up combat 10 to this Undead Cleric Elite. Immune to mental and poison. If the check to defeat has the divine trait. Well, we do not have the divine trait. So I think what Damiel will do, he'll go ahead and use the chakram, or the chakram. So dexterity, which is or ranged. So it's d10 plus 1d8 plus 2. So d10, 1d8. So we're adding 2 to this roll. I don't know if that's going to be enough. We need a 10. I mean, odds are pretty good. So I think we'll just go ahead and keep the 10. We're going to take our odds here. Alright, so we rolled a 2. This die fell off the table, so I have to re-roll it. So 2 and 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we failed by 1. Fortunately, we have a Scarab Buckler, so we can recharge it to reduce the combat damage by 3. So we'll recharge that. The Blasphemous Priest gets shuffled back into the deck. There's only 4 cards left in the location deck. So shuffling the cards, rolling a d4 to see which one is on top. It's the third one. Okay, resetting Damiel's hand, advancing the Blessings deck. We have to, the Blessings deck is the Blessing of Abadar. We are examining this card, and he's back, the Blasphemous Priest. So this time, we're going to go ahead and reveal the Chakram, but we will also use a Blessing of Horus. So we can add 2d10 and a d8. Assembling my dice. Finding another d10 here. Okay, so we get to add 2 to this roll. Alright, so we rolled a 3, 4, and 7. So we rolled 11, 12, 13. So this time, the Blasphemous Priest is vanquished. Resetting Damiel's hand, we are going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Ancients, so we cannot explore. Fortunately, Damiel has 2 blessings in his hand. So I'll go ahead and use a Blessing of Keppering. Discard this card to explore your location. So, and it's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, even though it's a Blessing of the Ancients, we still have to do the location effect, which is we have to examine this card. So we are examining this card. Okay, we examine it. It has a trigger effect. When you examine this card, succeed at a stealth 8 check or encounter it, the difficulty to defeat is increased by 3. Well, fortunately, we do have a smoke stick. It says display this card next to your location. While displayed, add 1d8 to stealth checks by characters at this location. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to, normally Damiel's stealth is d4, but we can add a d8 to that. So d4 and a d8, we need to make a stealth 8 check. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that check. So we rolled a 5, 6, 7. So it was close, but we did not succeed. So the smoke stick still stays there. We have to take care of that at the end of the turn. But we do have to deal with this villain. So it says here, the difficulty to defeat is increased by 3. Okay, that was close. We almost, so he's a 24 check to defeat. So all damage dealt by him is poison damage. Before you act, you are dealt 1d4 poison damage. So we'll go ahead and roll for that. So we rolled 1, so we have to take 1 poison damage. We have no way of stopping that, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we will lose a Blessing of Keppering as damage, and we do suffer the Curse of Poisoning since we did not reduce that damage. So getting the Curse of Poisoning, adding that to the Curse of Daybane. Alright, so now we have to go ahead and attempt this check to defeat, a combat 24 check. Well, fortunately, Damiel has a Fire Lance in his hand. He's going to, since he's an alchemist, he can discard it to roll 4d8. So assembling my dice, so we can roll 4 dice, 4d8, and we also have a Blessing of Horus in our hand. So we're going to add another d8. So it's just going to be a straight up 5d8 check and we need to roll 24. Alright, let's see where we're at here. So roll the 7 and 8 is 15, and 5 is 20, 22, and 5 is 27. Okay, we needed a combat 24 and we got a 27, so we are successful. So Orc Marcus, the villain of this scenario, is defeated. Excuse me, I felt that sneeze coming on. So this character, villain, is defeated. The glass pavilion is closed. We can go ahead and it says here, at the end of the turn, banish this card. Oh, since we're an alchemist, we can just discard it. We're going to reset Damiel's hand to 6. And if the adventure were continuing, we would roll for Curses of Poisoning, but we no longer have to. The curses are gone, the location is closed, Damiel is victorious. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom out here. That was a pretty interesting adventure. I liked it. So Damiel did acquire some new loot items that turn. Also, I was kind of surprised last adventure that it ended pretty quick. I forgot to mention that we did unlock this trader, Shahrazad. Let's go ahead and zoom in on Shahrazad. So we have now unlocked this trader, and the reward for this scenario is we also unlock another location. We unlock one of my favorite locations, the auction house. So now Damiel has the option of visiting the auction house. So 2 new traders to visit. And also the reward for this scenario is we get a skill feat. So let's go ahead and look at Damiel's skills. So this is exciting. So Damiel gets a skill feat. So what I've been doing so far in this campaign is increasing his intelligence, and I think I'll just continue to do so. Then the question will be, what else is he gonna bump up his dexterity or do something drastically different? So skill feat for this scenario, we get a +3 now to our intelligence, which means our disabled checks are +4 and our craft checks are +5. So that's pretty exciting. So now let's go ahead and do a quick deck check here. Zoom back out here. So looking at traders, the trader is only going to be interested in items that Damiel has of levels 1 or 2. So looking at items that are level 1 or 2. Okay. So that's it. So unfortunately Damiel just has the armor, the smoke stick, and the mumia to trade to a trader. So I mean, let's just see. Let's just see if there's something that he wants to get rid of. So we're going to go to our pal Falsing Deek, and we're going to see what kind of items he's going to trade Damiel. Because we could trade a smoke stick and the armor, but we're only going to do that if Falsing Deek has something really, really valuable that we want. I mean, I really like this armor, so I don't think I'm going to get rid of it yet. I think we're just going to have to wait till Damiel acquires some more loot to trade to a trader to kind of get rid of. But as it is, just randomly seeing what cards Falsing Deek is offering. Falsing Deek is offering the Glyph Bane Gloves, since it's a level 2 item. And he's also offering the Soul Stimulant. So I really like this Soul Stimulant card because it has the alchemical trait. It says recharge this card to ignore power that happens before or after you act on a non-villain Bane that has the undead trait. So that is kind of cool because it kind of is the same effect as this armor. So that's interesting. And banish this card to banish a displayed card that has the curse trait. And I really like that effect. So it's almost, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go ahead and give Falsing Deek this armor and this smoke stick. Well, see, I want to gain more alchemical items to my deck, and I don't want to lose an alchemical item to get an alchemical item. But I really feel that the Soul Stimulant is better than the smoke stick. But is it better than the smoke stick and this armor? So kind of a hard decision. I'm gonna have to think about that. So that's where we'll leave it right now. That was kind of, I've been doing these abbreviated deck checks for Damiel. Let me know what you think. But that's kind of the quandary. How is he going to level up? And is he going to level up? Alright, well, thanks for watching. A really exciting scenario. I'll let you know what the decision is later on in the campaign. If you have any questions, just go ahead and leave me a comment. Alright, thanks so much. I'll have another adventure up shortly.